I don't know how they've done it, but somehow Leicester have now moved to second in the Premier League. Kelechi Iheanacho, of all of the random people and random places to bring this team back into the title race, essentially, of the Premier League, he was not one I expected to do it. This squad, I guess, Everton, I gotta give full props to Everton, because that entire first half of this contest, despite the majority of the possession still going to Leicester, Everton were game. They were ready to go, they were ready to play, and every little opportunity that they had, they went for the game. It's just that I have a few reservations about Marco Silva's decision to stick with three in the back for the majority of this contest. Yes, it worked in the beginning of the game. Yes, the 3-4-3 was I guess very versatile against Leicester, who play pretty much Leicester play the sort of same 4-3-3 with a holding midfielder, which is of course one of the best in the world, Wilfred Ndidi. But they also can switch it about. They can play the 4-2-3-1. They can play the 4-1-4-1. But they usually sit in that 4-3-3. Today, they switched to the 4-1-4-1, and it kind of worked out for the better later in the contest, because Jose Perez came out, Harvey Barnes came out, and in came Mark Albrighton, the one of the few remaining players of part of that Leicester 2016 title-winning team, and Kelechi Iheanacho. And my goodness, did Kelechi Iheanacho have a fantastic stint, assisting Jamie Vardy for the first goal and scoring the 94th minute winner. VAR as well, guys. My goodness, does VAR take a long time? This goal specifically it just took so long to go through the system, and I'd say I wanted it speed up, but the more we speed it up, the more I think the wrong call is made. So I'm glad that they actually got this call right. I did not think that Kelechi Iheanacho would have the goal reversed. I thought it was purely a late winner for Leicester, who now move to 32 points. They move, I think, 6 points ahead of Chelsea and 3 points ahead of Manchester City, 8 points still behind Liverpool. So it's still a long way to go, but I mean, with Tottenham coming back into the fold, not West Ham, sorry, Wolves and Sheffield and Man United still there, only 6 points behind Chelsea, it's better to get as far away as you can, as early as you can, because let's face it, guys, as much as I think this Leicester starting 11 is probably one of the best, if not the best, in the Premier League in terms of, essentially, in terms of equal parts, the attack is just as good as the midfield, which is just as good as the defense. I do think Leicester will eventually run into issues of squad management and squad depth. So to have players like Kelechi Iheanacho contributing in games where it looked like Leicester were going to be frustrated as hell out of the game, it's great. It's very, very good to see these types of things, because Leicester, they controlled the majority of the possession in this game, 70% compared to the 30% that Everton held, especially in that second half. I think the second half it was like 74-26. So Everton were just sitting on the back foot the entire time. But they had 16 shots, 6 on target compared to Everton's 11 and 3. So Everton, essentially with Richarlison just taking all of their chances, They broke the deadlock early, and that was it. And I mean, that pretty much was it. After Richarlison scored the goal, they sat back and they waited. They essentially waited them out. They wanted to see what the Leicester squad would be able to do if they were trying to peel them apart. But Ricardo Pereira providing the assist for Kelechi Iheanacho's goal, and Kelechi Iheanacho providing a beautiful layoff for Jamie Vardy to give them that goal. And I actually want to say the reason that Kelechi Iheanacho even got the score was because Everton committed too many men forward in that back three, specifically with Michael Keane on that what is it, left-hand side or the right side of the defense if you're looking from Leicester's side. It was overextended. It was extremely overextended. Luca Digne is a very, very good fullback going forward, but his marauding runs forward sometimes to the detriment of the rest of the team, and this I thought was one of those cases. So I did feel bad for what Everton were trying to do in the game. I think a draw maybe would have favored them a bit better for how long they stood defensively solid, but at the same time, you can't let Leicester come at you for that long and expect to hold them out. They are only second in goals. Goals scored this season to Manchester City, which is saying a huge thing. Because let's face it, besides Jamie Vardy scoring goals, on the top of your head, who do you think scores a ton of goals for Leicester? Do you think it's Jose Perez who got a hat trick against Southampton, which is fair. But who do you think is Ayoze Perez? Do you think it's James Maddison? But no, it's just a plethora of the players. I mean, they all find ways to score. Tielemans even gets on the score sheet. Ndidi, I think, has 2 goals on the season. This is a team that essentially in itself has turned into a scoring machine under Brendan Rodgers, and they've done it consistently now throughout the season. Obviously, the Southampton game really helps in terms of looking at their goals scored, because 9 in one game is going to be a lot when most of the Premier League teams, I mean, don't score 9 in 4 or 5 game weeks. So I think it's very, very favorable for what they were able to do. But nonetheless, Kelechi Iheanacho, he's been kind of down lately, but I'm glad to see him finally coming back, making the most of a substitution appearance. Maybe putting his name into the hat as maybe I should start over Barnes, or maybe I should get some minutes over Ayoze Perez. Just essentially giving himself some time with no Demarai Gray in the lineup to get his name back into the hat in terms of the selection. But yeah, you guys gotta let me know your thoughts on the match down in the comments below. Leicester obviously winning 2-1 in a dramatic fashion, thanks to VAR reviewing the goal for over 2.5 minutes, which eventually still gave Leicester the victory that they rightfully deserved. Yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.